welcome back to another episode of the Amateur Hour podcast. Deshaun is joining me again today. Deshaun?
Hey guys, how you doing?
And we're talking today about Dak Prescott. Deshaun, you guys do not know this, Deshaun is a Dallas Cowboys fan. You probably already know I am a New York Giants fan. As you can imagine, we don't necessarily see eye to eye on all subjects relating to the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants, or really anything for that matter. But we really don't see eye to eye on this topic, the level of Dak Prescott. I am going to just straight up say from the start, Dak Prescott is an average NFL quarterback.
I disagree.
Clearly.
Outside of him being obviously the quarterback of America's team, the Dallas Cowboys.
Shut the fuck up. Don't say that.
Outside of him doing that job and doing it
America's team has 4 playoff wins since 95.
Do you know how the Giants are? Do you know what the Giants record is since?
Do you know how many Super Bowls the Giants have?
Do you know what No, I'm saying since Dak Prescott was drafted, do you know what the Giants record is?
Not good.
Okay.
Dak
Prescott in his rookie.
Giants.
Dak Prescott in his rookie season.
Talk to me about Dak Prescott right now.
Anyways, my boy, America's team, like I was saying, that quarterback, he is a bad man. I put him in the top 8 for quarterbacks, and I have no problem with other quarterbacks being better because I'm not going to be sitting here and be like Dak Prescott's the best quarterback in the world. But I think you need to respect him a little bit more than you are right now.
That's it?
Dak Prescott, at this very moment, leads the NFL in passing yards for all qualified quarterbacks. Dak Prescott is tied for second with Kirk Cousins in passing touchdowns. Dak is also top 5 in rushing yards for a quarterback. I want to understand how any of those numbers seem average to you.
Number 1, passing yards. Dak Prescott has the best O-line in the NFL. He has the most amount of time in the pocket. He has a great receiving core and one of the best wide receivers in the NFL in Amari Cooper. Plenty of time to pick out those receivers because of how good his O-line is. Because of how talented those receivers are. He doesn't need to necessarily throw the ball very far to get a good, like a 30-yard, quote, 30-yard pass. He could dump the ball 5 yards, and those guys could run a little bit with it. Passing yard-wise, he only has 6 games in his career with more than 300-plus yards, which is kind of the norm for quarterbacks in this day and age in the NFL. Only 6 was 300-plus. Yet he has 16 games in the NFL with under 200 passing yards. So I'm not really confident in terms of his passing yards ability. I think the passing yard stat is skewed, and I think if you have Kirk Cousins at the top of any sort of list, like you said passing TDs, then obviously that's skewed because Kirk Cousins is not a top-tier quarterback.
And I don't think you're accepting, one, Kirk Cousins makes $82 million over 3 years, so he was paid like a top-end quarterback, and
just the passing, paid like one doesn't mean he
has, Kirk Cousins has 2 of the best receivers in the game to throw to, so those passing numbers are why he is where he is. Dak Prescott, you said, 6 games above 400 yards. 300 yards. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games like that just this year above 300 yards. He's also had 297, 278, 269. And that being said, you can say this and that, but our offense goes through Zeke. So to tell me that,
Exactly.
No, but you're not understanding what I'm saying. Like, look at the Giants offense. Okay, for example.
We're not talking about the Giants.
I'm saying for example. Okay, your offense goes through 26, whatever his name is. It goes through him. That's where it doesn't go through Daniel Jones. Okay, I guarantee you when you look at the stats, they get the same amount of touches. So that takes away, obviously, from the ability to throw the football. Now with their new offensive coordinator, Dak Prescott is among the elite, like I said, top 8 quarterbacks in the league because of the ability now to pass the ball a little bit more than run it as much as the Dallas Cowboys have. In perspective, we're now 10 games, 11 games, or 9 games for certain teams, whatever it is, because of bye weeks and whatever. Last year at this time, Patrick Mahomes, NFL MVP, he led the league in everything basically last year. He had 3,150 passing yards at this time last year after 10 games. Dak has more than that right now, and Patrick Mahomes was the NFL MVP. So to look me in my face and tell me his passing yards are this and this and this, look what happened last year. That's the MVP. That's the guy who they said was the best quarterback they've ever seen talent-wise, ever.
If you really think Dak Prescott is good, and you claim that the game is through their running back Ezekiel Elliott, who's been the best running back in the NFL this year, because Saquon's been hurt. But
what was that?
The Ezekiel Elliott's been the best running back in the NFL this year, and you said the Dallas offense goes through Ezekiel Elliott. Well, hang on.
I said it primarily used to go through
primarily through Ezekiel. That stat I said about the 6 games above 300 was not up to date for the whole season, so I apologize for that. It's more now. It's probably close to 10. I don't know exactly what it is, but the Cowboys are 6-4. They're 2-4 when they're not playing NFC East opposition. If they have this weapon of Ezekiel Elliott at their disposal and a apparently top 8 quarterback in Dak Prescott, going along with having the 3rd best defense in the league, why are they not winning more games?
When it comes down to it, realistically, when it comes down to it, they don't execute. For example, when we played Minnesota, and I believe it was Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football, we played Minnesota a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
We had a chance to win the game. We were driving. Everything was great. Jason Garrett gets his hands into the game, and then it's like, we're going to run it with Zeke twice. Got no yards.
Yeah, Jason Garrett's an idiot.
Forced Dak into a tough situation, and the wide receiver dropped the football. Then we had to punt. We lost the game. Mm-hmm. When it came to the Jets, I can't explain why we did not beat the New York Jets.
What about the Saints?
The Saints, the defense on both sides was amazing. That was Teddy Bridgewater's first game since Drew Brees got hurt. He obviously wasn't playing that well. The defense did what they were supposed to, but our offense, especially Zeke, was neutralized. And when you neutralize Zeke, you can neutralize us pretty quickly because you don't have that other threat to open up our offense so Dak can do what he's supposed to be doing.
So they can neutralize their running back but we can't rely on our quarterback to win our games.
That's not what I'm saying.
Not good enough.
That's absolutely not what I'm saying.
That's what you were saying.
No, we also were missing wide receivers against New Orleans, which is why Dak didn't have the same offensive. If you saw when he was throwing, the receivers weren't running the routes they were supposed to be running.
If Dak is as good as you're claiming him to be, he should be able to operate.
That's not how it works. That's not how it works.
It is how it works.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. It's not how it works.
If you're telling me he can only be successful when he's got one of the best wide receivers in the league playing with him, then that is how
they were missing 3 wide receivers that game for the Saints. They were missing their top 3. Tell me what team without their top 3 wide receivers wins that game.
I mean, they can put up more than 10 points,
Tell
boss.
me what team without their top 3 wide receivers in the game, their running back neutralized, wins that game.
Seattle.
You think Seattle right now, without Lockett, Josh Gordon, and DK Metcalf, the beast, you think if those 3 don't play, and I don't know who the running back is right now, but if their running back doesn't play, you're telling me Russell Wilson wins? You're full of it. You're full of it.
You know what? I don't know if he wins, but you know what? He puts up more than 10 points. And if your defense gets you...
Okay, but
Seattle's only allows 12 points, I think Seattle's
defense is not as good as the Dallas defense.
Exactly.
Okay, but I'm saying
all that help on defense.
At the end of the day, they still lose the game. That's my point. They don't win.
I think Seattle, if you look at, you want to look at it that way. You want to look at
You're coming at me for not winning that game, not for not scoring points against the Packers.
I'm talking
Packers. When we played the Packers, you scored lots of points. That game was pretty close, but we ended up losing the game by 10 points because we were down. Yeah. So we were down a lot early. Mm-hmm. That being said, Dak had a very good game. Zeke had a very good game. I believe Cooper played 3 quarters in that game, and he had a very good game, which showed. It was really a battle of Dak and coming back into the game after Rodgers really dominated the first half of the game. And that's what it comes down. Like you're talking about, the record. That 3-game slide was awful. I can't explain how they lost 3 games in a row in the fashion that they did. Like I thought we go into New York, we beat the Jets, no problem. Darnold was seeing ghosts the week before. Definitely thought you go up there and you slap them. So I can't explain that, but to tell me that this guy is not a top 8 quarterback, you couldn't name me 7. You can't name me 10 quarterbacks better than Dak Prescott. You can't.
I can try.
Let me
see what I can do.
You can't name me 10 quarterbacks better than Dak Prescott, and there are 64 quarterbacks with an NFL either starting or backup position.
I don't want to talk about backups. Let me talk about starters. I'll count. You can count. Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, Carson Wentz.
No.
Yes.
I will not let you put Carson Wentz, who has won absolutely nothing, ahead of Dak Prescott.
Prescott won.
But that's what I'm saying. They're in the same boat. So how are you going to put him on it?
Wentz is more talented than Dak Prescott.
Then what? Tell me, where's Philly?
Philly's not doing well.
Where's Philly?
5-5, right in the hunt.
Where's Philly?
Philly can easily win this division.
Where's Philly been, bro? You're coming over
Where's
here.
Philly been? They won the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Not with Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz set them up for the success.
No, Nick Foles played every single postseason snap.
But Carson Wentz set them up to get to that point.
Nick Foles played every single postseason snap.
Oh my God, you can't tell me Carson Wentz wasn't great that year and set them up to have that success
Nick
in the playoffs.
Foles played every single
Carson Wentz is made of glass.
Nick
I get
Foles
that.
played every single... Oh my goodness.
You can't tell me Carson
You're not going to look me in my face and tell me Carson Wentz is better?
Philly. Carson Wentz is better than Dak Prescott.
No,
Carson
he's
Wentz
not.
is more talented
How?
than Dak. Better at throwing. Better at throwing than Dak. Yes, better at throwing than Dak Prescott. 100% better at throwing than Dak Prescott. There's no doubt. Dak Prescott's a better rusher, sure, but no doubt Carson Wentz is a better arm than Dak Prescott. Okay, I'm counting Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz is not... No. That's not debatable. Carson Wentz is not a better quarterback than Dak Prescott.
Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers.
Tom Brady is not... You just talked about the skill of a quarterback. Do you see how Tom Brady plays the quarterback position?
Don't worry. I am fully on board with Tom Brady being, just about average right now. But he's better than Dak Prescott.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
This year, if you look at those 2 quarterbacks and you give me one to choose, I'm taking Dak Prescott. You cannot tell me... Put Tom Brady in any other offense to tell me how he does.
If I put him in Dallas' offense, I think he does fine.
I think he does worse than Dak Prescott does in Dallas' offense. His lack of ability to run the ball and open up the lanes to throw. Dak actually throws over 30 yards. Tom Brady right now...
I know Tom Brady's a game manager.
Yeah,
I know this.
Tom Brady is a shell of himself.
I know this.
He doesn't air it out. So you're not going to look me in my face and say, oh, Tom Brady... I'm going to put him... No, you're not going to tell me a 42-year-old mouth sun kisser is better than Dak Prescott.
I am, and I just did. Definitely.
That's ludicrous.
It's not ludicrous. That's ludicrous. It's not ludicrous. I do not think it's ludicrous at all.
I'm heated over here. That's absolutely ludicrous.
Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers is better than Dak Prescott.
Absolutely.
Drew Brees is better than Dak Prescott.
What are we at? That's 7 real quarterbacks. So Carson Wentz and Tom Brady are not in there.
I think Matt Ryan's a more talented QB than Dak Prescott. There's a case for Kirk Cousins, but I don't know if I'd put him above. The other ones I'd be kind of reaching for. I think that's about it. You could argue Jimmy G.
No.
But I don't think I'd put him ahead.
Absolutely disrespectful.
No.
And I understand. I mean, it's tough because you have to go watch Dak Prescott either go into MetLife Stadium or you guys come here and he wipes the floor with you guys every single time.
I know the Giants are shit. You don't
no, that's why you're upset. You're trying to tell me and look me in my face.
I'm not talking about the Giants,
You're looking
bro.
me in my face and trying to tell me that Dak Prescott is an average quarterback.
Don't spin this off.
Because you're getting slapped up by him up and down the field.
Don't spin this off into a Giants roast just to make yourself look better.
It's not a Giants roast.
I get the Giants are shit, man.
You watch the man come in there and slap you guys up twice a year for the last 4 years, and you're upset. And I understand that's why you're trying to disrespect him and say this guy is a average QB. When
average QB,
realistically, stats show.
Eye test. It's not about the stats with this guy. It's eye test.
Listen, buddy. Listen. Okay? Men lie, women lie, numbers don't.
They do.
No, they don't.
No, what? Yes,
numbers
they do.
don't lie.
Sometimes it's eye test.
Numbers don't lie.
In this case, it is eye test.
Numbers don't lie.
Tom Brady is a perfect example. I say he's better than Dak Prescott, but I know Tom Brady's average at best right now. He's on the same level as Dak Prescott. I put him just ahead of him. But Tom Brady's one where stats lie. Tom Brady could have an incredible game of insane yardage.
And when have you seen that game? When have you seen that game though?
What?
Tom Brady hasn't had that game this year.
Yeah, he has.
A game where he's put up over 400 yards.
I don't know about that. But
they played the Miami Dolphins, and I don't think he put up 400 yards.
Eye test. Tom Brady's putting up good numbers, but because he dumps the ball 5 yards and has guys run it a guy will score a 6-yard TD. Tom Brady will fucking huck the ball 5 yards, and the guy will score a 6-yard TD. And you know what the stat says? 60-yard passing touchdown for Tom Brady. And it's in a similar scenario for Dak Prescott.
That's not how we run our offense. And you especially should see the routes that Amari Cooper runs, and when Dak Prescott gets him the ball in the right situations, watch him turn and go. Watch him burn whoever it is because Dak is getting him the ball. Certain quarterbacks can't do that. Okay, a lot of the quarterbacks on the list, yeah, they can definitely get the job done, but I'm not saying to the level that Dak Prescott gets the job done. And I think you know that. And I think that there's some other underlying reason why you're trying to hate on Dak Prescott. He's an above average QB. I think he's the top 8. I'll put him 8, maybe 9. Give me Dak Prescott.
Honestly, we're not completely off on our valuation of Dak Prescott. I have him just outside the top 10. You have him top 8. It's not night and day what we're talking about here.
10,
but I don't think Dak Prescott's that good.
You can't say a top 10 quarterback in the league, like I said, where there's 64 everyday quarterbacks throwing passes every day. Shout out to Colin Kaepernick. Every day. You're not going to tell me that he's an average QB. An average QB, Mitchell Trubisky.
No, Mitchell Trubisky's
he's a below average QB.
Awful.
But if you look
well below average,
but
man.
if you look at him, that's if you're talking to me.
I'm not looking at it from a
you're talking to me
QB standpoint. I'm not looking at it from a 64 QB standpoint. I'm looking at it from a starter standpoint, and I'm looking at starters.
There's arguably 30, 35 starters.
Dak Prescott's not winning you games by himself. He
literally has won games by himself.
Dak Prescott's not.
Look at game 1. Game 1, did he not win that by himself? Zeke didn't rush in that game. He won that by himself. You should know that. You watched it happen.
I watched that game.
Okay, so how do you look me in my face and say Dak Prescott doesn't win games on his own when Zeke literally did not rush that game?
If Dak doesn't have this insane O-line with him, he doesn't succeed to this level.
That's any quarterback.
It's not any quarterback.
That's any quarterback. The only quarterback that has a really bad O-line right now is, I want to say, Russell Wilson in Seattle, because that O-line is pretty trash.
You talk about Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers' O-line is pretty sorry, and then Deshaun Watson's O-line is awful.
That's what I mean. These guys are succeeding.
Outside of those,
these guys are being better than Dak Prescott.
Not this year. And this year, Dak Prescott is an elite quarterback, and he needs to be respected a little bit more. I'm pretty sure he set a single in-game record this year. He had 18 straight completed passes.
How far does Dak take you in the playoffs? If Dak's been so elite this year, how far does Dak get you in the playoffs? Because you only have 4 playoff wins in over 2 decades.
Conference championship game. I think it's more of a. I think
conference championship game.
Last year
in the NFC. The NFC has the 49ers, the Seahawks, the Vikings,
Not
the
worried.
Packers, the Saints. All those guys not gonna. You're saying they're gonna beat all of them except for one in the conference final. That's what you're saying. Oh my God! Come on, man. They're gonna be playing. The Seahawks are like realistically gonna be a wild card. You might face them
we're
pretty
facing
early.
right now. We're set up to face the Seahawks.
You're facing the Seahawks
in our stadium.
You're saying Russell Wilson's not gonna go to town.
I say we beat them bad. I say we beat them down in our stadium. I say we beat them down in our stadium.
Are you talking
I
about?
say
You're
we
insane.
show Seattle what's up. That's what I'm saying right now.
You're deluded.
Seattle.
Man. Are you crazy?
Seattle will look and be like, damn, that's a quarterback. That's what Seattle will be saying. I'll tell you that much.
This is like the MVP you're talking about. Russell Wilson is Lamar Jackson probably just passed him in terms of the MVP race, but you're talking about like the MVP right now, Russell Wilson. That's insane.
That's what I see.
Absolutely ludicrous.
That's
oh my
what I see
goodness
happening.
Gracious.
Seattle will come to Dallas and get
Dallas
kicked out the playoffs.
Oh my God,
they butts kicked out the playoffs. Anyone that has a problem with that, come see me.
I'm here, bro.
Because
you guys might not even win your fucking division, let alone get to the conference finals. Philly's right on your heels, and
if you have to come to our stadium and we're healthy, America's team is healthy, we kick everybody out the building.
You have the Patriots coming.
We kick everybody out the building.
You have the Patriots in New England. You have the Bills. You have
the Bills are sorry.
You have
Patriots are sorry.
The Patriots are definitely not sorry. Patriots are gonna be a tough game. The Bills aren't an easy game. The Bears defense can give you problems.
No.
Then you're playing the Rams. The Rams defense give you problems. You'll probably win.
I think you think our team is like your team because our team actually wins these games.
I'm not saying
our team wins these games.
I'm not, enough about the Giants. We're talking about
our team is 11-5 at the end of the year.
11-5. You're gonna win. So you have the Patriots, at Patriots, Bills, at Bears, Rams, at Eagles, Redskins. I don't think you beat the Patriots. Of the Bills, Bears, Rams, I can see you losing at least one. I'll give you one loss there. The Eagles in Philly.
We always beat the Eagles in Philly. You don't know that, eh?
You
don't know that.
You don't know that. You're 4 wins in a row against Philly. I know.
We don't lose to our division. That's the difference. We don't lose in our division.
You're doing very well against the division. What are you?
We don't lose.
You're 4-0 in your division.
We don't lose.
In the NFC East, you're 4-0.
So those are wins. But count them up.
You're gonna lose to the Patriots. I think you're gonna lose one of Bills, Bears, Rams. You lost to the Jets. You can't tell me that's not possible. You're gonna lose one of those games. The Philly one's a toss-up for me because Philly's gonna be right on your heels for the playoffs. And the Redskins, you're gonna beat the Redskins.
Sorry.
If I'm being honest, Cowboys are probably gonna win the division, but I'm not guaranteeing they're gonna win the division. Philly are right on their heels.
No,
I'm being honest.
Philly ain't got no receiving core. They ain't got no defense.
I'm being honest. Cowboys are probably gonna win the division, but it's not guaranteed.
Don't come here and look me in my face and tell me that. Don't look me in my face and tell me that Philly's gonna come back because you know what's up.
I just said the Cowboys are gonna win the division.
Exactly.
But Philly is
Philly. I'm not scared of Philly.
It.
Philly's not doing nothing.
Okay,
Philly's gonna lose.
I can't believe what you said about the Seahawks. I honestly am.
The Seahawks.
I can't believe
the Seahawks are going to come to our stadium and get slapped up. Russell Wilson's gonna go home back to Seattle, and that's it.
You're insane.
And cry in that Seattle rain.
Man, I wish Colin was here. He'd be fucking screaming at you.
And that's what I have to say. Because their defense ain't like ours. Their offense is not like Dallas.
Your QB ain't like Seattle's, bro.
Don't worry. Seattle will see what a QB really
All right,
can do.
You know what? Okay. I'm done because I'm not convincing you. You're not convincing me.
How do I tell you? Like, how do you not think the man is elite? I just showed you the stats from the QBs last year at this time. I showed you this year what he's doing.
No, man.
And you just you don't think he's average.
I'm going eye test here. Dak Prescott can rely on the running game.
You watch him twice a year.
I don't watch him. I watch him more than twice a year.
You watch him really twice a year.
I watch him
because he plays against you twice a year, and you see what he does.
Stop talking about the Giants.
I'm not talking about the Giants, but you see what that man. You know he's a bad man. You know he's a bad man. You know that.
You watch the. You look at it from the eye test. Got the running game. Best O line in the NFL. Some of the best receiving core. He's fitting it very well and he's playing very well for his team. But average QB.
You can say all of his successes from other places, but at the end of the day, the guy went 13-3 in his rookie year. He went 12-4. If Zeke didn't get suspended and our O-line wasn't hurt that whole year, we make the playoffs that year. We come back. I believe last year we were 12-4, 11-5, maybe 10-6. I think we were 10-6 last year. This year, same thing. 10-6 or 11-5. That's it. We're in the playoffs. Seattle Seahawks. We'll see you later. Straight up.
You better hope Seattle wins that division, because if you play the 49ers, you can win that game. You're not winning against Seattle.
We'll beat any team. Any team. Any team.
So Super Bowl.
Any team.
You said conference final.
We could beat any team. We could beat any team in our whole conference. That's what you're sleeping on. We haven't even reached our full potential yet. Our full potential has not been reached yet.
I'm in a fucking coma on this one.
You'll see. Dak Prescott.
All right, you know what?
Is an
we will
elite
see.
Quarterback.
I'm done. We're not convincing each other. Jesus Christ. Honestly, let us know Instagram, Twitter @PDC. Realistic, like your real opinion on Dak Prescott. Give us your real opinion. Let us know. I'm frustrated right now. I'm done. Well, I'm intrigued. You know what? I'm intrigued for that Patriots game. Probably today, based on when this episode's gonna come out. I'm intrigued for the playoffs, because how many playoff wins does Dak Prescott have?
He's 2.
That's it. And
he's only been in the playoffs 3 times.
And they're not beating Seattle. They faced them.
Oh, we're beating Seattle. We're beating Seattle.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
And Colin, when you hear this, I want you to come at me, because we're about to beat Seattle very, very bad.
I'm done. Thank you for listening to the episode. Come back soon for more daily content.